Welcome to the EDLD 5345 Week 3 Assignment Overview. This week is about mindset, motivational theory, and instructional coaching. Here are your weekly objectives. Upon successful completion of these weekly objectives, you'll be working towards these course level objectives. All of these objectives can be found in your Week 3 module in Blackboard. There is no discussion board this week. Here's the list of readings for this week. One note, you've got 2 articles on motivational theory right here. In the assignment, it asks you to read one of them, but you're welcome to read both of them. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. You have 2 lecture videos to watch this week. Both are from Jim Knight, one of the gurus in instructional coaching. He's done a lot of research on it. He's done a lot of practice with it. So I think you'll enjoy both of them. One is the 7 success factors for instructional coaches, and the other one is why professional learning fails. Here's your to-do list. You're going to read your weekly readings. You're going to attend or view the weekly web conference and Learning in Action. This week we have guests for Learning in Action. You're going to watch those videos from Jim Knight, and then you're going to complete the Week 3 assignment. This assignment is a key assessment for our department, so you're required to do all parts of the assignment in order to get a weekly grade. You're going to see 2 documents when you get to that box in Module 3 in the assignments. You're going to see the assignment template that you're used to. You're also going to see some case study information in another document. Within that case study information, you're going to see some notes from walkthroughs and observations. You're going to see additional information about the teacher. How many years has Ms. Cardinal been a teacher? What does her class look like as far as special populations and numbers? You're going to look at additional information. How long has she been in coaching and how long have you been supporting her? You've also got a little bit of data. Now, this is just a broad overview of information to help guide you in your decision. We're going to give you the area that you're going to do your instructional coaching plan on for this assignment. This is going to look much like what it's going to look like on the 268. They're going to give you a video to watch. You're going to watch that teacher give instruction to her students. You're going to have a few documents. Then you're going to have a series of questions after it. So this will be great practice for the 268. So section A of the assignment is growth and fixed mindset. You're going to have 2 charts to fill out. One is pretty simple. The other one is a little more complex. So let's look at them. Chart 1 is going to give you a list of characteristics and behaviors in the first column. And then you're going to put growth or fixed in the second column. We gave you an example. More data-driven in instructional performance changes. That's going to be a growth mindset. You're looking at that data. You're making your changes based off of that data. And that data could be students not answering questions, students not knowing how to do the assignment, students failing an assignment. All those things are pieces of data. So again, that is the growth mindset. And you would put growth in the text box. Chart 2 is a little more complex. You're going to have a piece of the teacher evaluation system that is T-test here. Here we have goal setting. Then you're going to have a column that says fixed mindset, a column that says growth mindset, and a column that says skills you will still need to develop. So here's what you do. You've got goal setting. So think about all the things you do in goal setting. If that teacher comes in and has a fixed mindset, they're going to come in, they're going to give you a big, broad, general goal. That's because they want to check it off the list, they want to cross it off the list, or they just want you off their back. They're really not invested in it. If you have a growth mindset teacher and they come into that goal setting situation, that goal setting meeting, they're going to have reflected on their data, on how their students did in the classroom, about what their teacher evaluations told them, about the skills they know deep down inside that they still need to work on, and they're going to set their goals based on that. The skill that you will need to develop. So this is something you need to develop as an instructional leader, a principal, in order to facilitate growth in this area for your teachers. So one thing you need to remember when conferencing with your teachers is the 90-10 rule. They talk 90% of the time, you talk 10% of the time. To make that happen, you're going to ask them reflective questions. So you're going to have to be very skilled in this area, because sometimes you're going to have some very difficult teachers and you're going to have to kind of think of some questions on the fly. So you need to have those questioning skills. So that is a skill that you would need to develop. So that's an example for you in that chart. Section B is about motivational theory. So again, you're going to choose one of the two articles. You are free to read both of them. You're going to answer the questions. You're going to reference the material in the article, and you're going to use that APA format. Now, we're not going to tell you how many words to put, how long it needs to be. You need to answer it completely and clearly. You need to reference what you learned in that reading and use APA format. So here's an example. What are the main points of this reading? Focus on the concepts, ideas, themes, and not individual facts. Type your answer here. We gave you an example of what an APA citation might look like. Again, we gave you that Al Purdue site. Just for a clarification, when it asks about muddiest point, a muddy point is something that kind of sticks with you and it's just not clear. It's a little murky, it's a little mucky, just something you still have questions about. So that's what a muddiest point is. Section C is all about that instructional coaching plan. So again, you have that case study, you have look-fors. There's a link there. You've got the T-test rubric. There's a link there. You've got sample conference questions from the T-test system. So there's a link there. You are free to use those conference questions without citing them APA. This week, you are going to design an instructional coaching plan in the dimension of 2.4 of the T-test rubric for this case study teacher, and that happens to be differentiation. So look at the rubric in area 2.4, look at the information you have on this teacher, and then develop this plan. So you've got bullet points. You've got the date and the teacher's name. Just choose the conference time. Ms. Cardinal is this case study teacher's name. The targeted coaching question, we chose it for you, differentiation. The reflective questions are what you're going to ask the teacher to get her to reflect on her practice in the area of differentiation, as you noted in your observation. You've got observation evidence. So this is what you saw within that observation. So you are free to copy and paste. You do not have to cite this as well. So you do not have to cite reflective questions or where you found your evidence. Then you're going to create a SMART goal. Remember, that's going to be specific, measurable, and time-bound. Research to support the need for improvement. So you're going to have to justify why you're asking this teacher to improve in this area. So pull a little research. Look at your reading. You've got several avenues to do that, and we'll look at that on the next slide. And then suggested strategies or skills. So some things that you suggest they might do are some things that you might want to see for them to help develop in this area. So some ideas to help this teacher with instruction could come from Jim Knight's work. It could come from Marzano's work. As a student at Lamar, you are able to do some research in the Lamar Library and pull articles. Be sure those are peer-reviewed so they are valid. Just a couple of books that you may want to get for your professional library. This one is called Getting Better Faster. It's by Brambricks and Toyo, same person that wrote your Leverage Leadership book. Great book. I've had it sitting on my shelf, and I'm ashamed of that because it has some great information in it, and I learned about that as I did some training this week at Bend Winter. Another great book to have is Teach Like a Champion. It gives you some great strategies and skills to improve instruction. Both of those books are on the 268 preparation book list, along with that Leverage Leadership book and your Breakthrough Principle book. So let's continue with that coaching template. This next bullet, you're going to give step-by-step directions on how to do the strategy, what you're expecting to see in order for this teacher to improve instructionally. The next bullet is asking you for evidence. So you're going to tell the teacher what you're expecting to see to know that it worked. How is it effective? What evidence are you looking to collect to show that teacher did it and it worked with her students? Timeline. What steps are you going to take? What's the plan? Are you going to send them to to watch another teacher? Are you going to send them to do research? Are you going to send them to some training? When are you coming back for follow-up and a walkthrough and a post-conference? Then you've got support and resources. Again, these are some more research articles that you might put in there for them to look over and read. And then, of course, be sure and use appropriate APA citations. Again, you do not have to cite for those coaching questions, and you do not have to cite for your direct evidence. However, if you take a model or exemplar from somebody else, then definitely you want to cite that because that is their work. And the final section, Section D, is documentation. So you're going to create 2 pieces of documentation of any type to show support, informal and formal. Conferences could be included in that, notes from that. Resources provided to this teacher during the year. What have you provided her? What have you asked her to do? What's some timelines? Be sure to look in your Texas Documentation Handbook. There's some great templates there that you can use and then type in that information specific to this case study teacher that is struggling. So with that, that is the end of your assignment. I'm going to leave you with this quote and hope you have a great week. No one cares about your fears, your excuses, and your so-called reasons of why you shouldn't do what you need to do, and neither should you. Chasing big dreams requires doing the things that you don't want to do. In fact, the things you are afraid of the most are usually exactly the things you should do. You don't grow from what is easy, only from the hardships you face. The more you challenge yourself to overcome your limiting beliefs, your fears, and doubts, the sooner you will reach your goals. And that comes from Kobe Bryant. So just a great reminder. Learning is hard. You've got to kind of push yourself through the limits and have great expectations for yourself. This assignment has a lot of reading in it. For some of you, it's going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. For some of you, it's not. It may be just a little different format, a different look at things, but kind of stretch yourself. Instructional coaching is a big piece of being an instructional leader. Your current campus may have instructional coaches that do that. Other campuses do not. With budgets tightening up, that may change as well. And some districts just don't have the money to have those instructional coaches, and they expect their principals to do that. So you need to be able to do all those skills, and that's what that 268 test is all about, being able to be an instructional leader at all levels. So stretch yourself and think about this as a learning point and a preparation for your 268 exam. With that, have a great week.